Welcome to Faust in House with State Representative Tim Faust. I'm Mike Howard. Representative, thanks for coming into the studio today to talk about some of the major issues at this legislative session, the state budget, and also general assistance medical care.
Yeah, both of those are certainly big issues this time around. The state budget, we came in expecting, with a $1.2 billion. Well, fortunately, the February forecast came out yesterday, and we're down to $998 million. So we had some improvement, not as much as we would have liked, certainly, but the forecast is at least better. At least it was moving in the right direction, so that's good.
Yes. Last time this year, we didn't really know where the bottom was of this recession. We seem to have a handle on that, but the forecast does confirm what we've known in that too many Minnesotans are still out of work.
Oh, that's absolutely right. Still way too many people that are looking for jobs, unemployed. My district has a relatively high unemployment rate compared to the rest of the state, and we've got to fix that. We've got to get people back to work, but at least we've bottomed out, and we're heading in the right direction now. Economists are expecting a long, slow recovery, and that's probably the way it's going to be. But at least we're heading in the right direction, and that's the positive.
So there'll be, with that forecast, that's the number you folks will work with in your committees and in budget committees. I know you've been doing that for months and months, getting ready to set priorities and make choices. How does the timeline work here moving forward?
Well, what is happening is fairly soon we'll come out with what's called targets, and each of the finance committees will have targets where they have to go in and they have to figure out what they're going to cut out of their committees. And each committee will get a target number, and they have to go through and like I say, they have to identify where they can cut and eliminate programs, eliminate jobs even. But it's something that has to be done so that we can get the budget in line.
Well, we'll ask you to come back and update as that moves through the process.
Yes.
Let's talk about GAMC, an issue that we talked about a couple weeks ago, but it seems like it might have been a couple months ago with all the developments.
Yes, it certainly is a ever-changing story, it seems. And as you probably know, about 2 weeks ago, we passed GMC off the House floor. All but 9 Republicans voted with us. 125 to 9 was the final vote. So it passed with huge bipartisan support. A bill that large rarely passes with that much support. I was very optimistic when it passed that when something passes with those kind of numbers, the governor is likely to sign it. For 2 reasons. Number one, if he's not going to sign it, he usually tells everybody that he's not going to sign it so they don't vote for it. But more importantly, if that many people are supporting it, he's not going to want to leave them hanging out to dry, so to speak. But he did veto it. The very next day he vetoed it. The Senate a week later did their override vote, and they were able to override it. And then on Monday of this week we had our vote to override the governor, and all 38 Republicans that had voted with us 11 days earlier all of a sudden changed their vote and voted against it. And nothing had changed at all. It was exactly the same bill, and I think everyone in the state of Minnesota knows exactly why they changed their vote, and I think that's extremely unfortunate.
It is disappointing that party politics got in the way there, especially when the bill itself actually costs less and delivers more care. On both sides of the aisle, it seemed like there really was some area for bipartisan agreement.
Well, that's absolutely right. If you look at the final version of the bill, when the governor vetoed it a year ago, he said, these are the parameters I need to be able to sign a bill. We met all of those parameters. We did exactly what he asked us to do. We had Republicans involved in the planning process and the forming of the new process all along. They were involved with this. They stood up on the House floor and said what a great thing it was. Then all of a sudden the governor vetoes it, and all of these votes changed. But if you look at it and compare it to the governor's plan on a per person per month basis, our GMC fixed cost half as much per person per month as his did, and yet he vetoed the bill, which really doesn't make much sense. And then to make it even more confusing, 38 of their people changed their vote from supporting it to going against it.
General assistance medical care will be eliminated on April 1st if there isn't a solution. I know there is some hope that some of that bipartisanship that helped craft the bill and pass the bill can be captured in the next couple weeks here.
Well, they are still continuing to discuss it. I know that they had discussions with the governor before the veto override, and they kind of ran into a brick wall on a couple issues. And they are continuing discussions with it, and hopefully they will come up with a viable solution that hopefully doesn't cost as much as the governor's solution. Hopefully costs what ours does and carries and covers as many people as our solution did. You know, if he's got some ideas that can make our solution even better yet, we'd love to hear them. But so far that hasn't been the case, but we're looking forward to that hopefully happening.
All right, thanks for joining us in the studio. This has been Faust in House with State Representative Tim Faust.